So first things first, what I'm gonna do is color correct using my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour cream kit, and I took the color coral, and this one is in deep, and I use this to cover up any dark marks. And then blend it out. So I kind of use like this little foundation brush to do it, and it's a little cheap one. It's something that I got, I think, off of Amazon or something. I'm not sure, but I use that and I just pack it right over all my dark spots, the places where I get a little grayer, and make sure I just blend it out. So you'll end up looking like this. I'm going to take my NYX Total Control foundation, and this used to be one of my favorite foundations, but y'all know how that work. I ended up wearing it out and I didn't ever go pick up a new one. So this is how my shade goes. I'm mocha in the winter, cocoa in the summer. So I'm gonna still use cocoa because I don't think I've gotten any lighter yet, because it's still hot as hell in Atlanta. So I don't think I got any lighter, so I'm gonna use my NYX Total Control foundation in cocoa. So while I'm applying this, I do want to tell you all that to have a good base, I'm talking about like a really good base, it is very detrimental that you make sure you hydrate and moisturize your skin, regardless if you have oily skin or not. You still want to make sure that you're moisturizing your skin, because when your skin is not moisturized, it produces more oils, and then you're going to be even more oily. So thinking that just because you're oily you don't need to moisturize is not the case, sis, at all. And then after you moisturize, please you make sure you use a primer. A primer is so that your foundation does not move around or anything that's going to be under your foundation. It's to make sure that it smooths out the layer of foundation between, you know, it's like a barrier basically between your foundation and your skin, because we don't really want all of this sinking into our skin, but we also don't want it to look like it's just sitting on top. So I definitely recommend using moisturizers and primers, and depending on what type of skin type you have, that depends on what type of primer you'll use. So if you are oily, you'll use a modifying primer, okay, for oily skin. And if you are dry, you'll probably go for a primer that is more dewy, you know, a primer that helps with making you look a little bit more radiant, a little bit more glowy. So yeah, honey, it's your preference, whatever works best for your skin. So it's good to know your skin type. And I am like combination, so I'm oily in some parts, I may be a little drier in other parts, but more so than none, I'm freaking oily. So now that we have our foundation on, I'm going to jump into using some really Stay Naked concealer and the Weightless Complete Coverage concealer, both by Urban Decay. So moving on, once you have your base nice and blended in, you want to go ahead and take a concealer. And here's the thing, concealer can be 1 shade lighter, 2 shades lighter, 3 shades lighter than your foundation shade. So depending on what you're going for, if you're going for a more office look or something very natural, you might want to just conceal using 1 or 2 shades. If you're going for something a little bit more poppin', dinner, brunch, something like that, it just depends on the occasion. And hey, I'm still a girl who will go 3 concealer shades lighter than my foundation to work. I don't care. I like to be poppin'. So you can do something like this, which is very more natural. Or take a different concealer, a couple of shades lighter, and use this. It's really up to you, but it's not necessary to do this at all. It's not necessary. Not necessary. And I want to let y'all know what I'm doing is just how I do my routine. I'm not saying that you have to follow my exact routine. It doesn't work like that. I'm just letting y'all know this is what I do. Yeah, and the brush that I used for my foundation was a Instapop face brush. Now I'm going to be using a Instapop cheek brush to blend out my concealer. The top part of my eyes sit just a little longer because we know when we let our concealer dry down a little bit, it gives us a little bit more coverage. So I'm going to allow that to take place. Okay, and then we're going to work on our eyes. And I like to start with the eye that I put down first. And I'll make sure I blend the bottom first and then work my way up under my eye. I don't start directly under my eye. I start from the bottom and work my way up. And then whatever's left, if you're doing eyeshadow or not, you can just blend it over your lid to get that nice, flawless look. And you always want to make sure once you blend it out that you go back over with your foundation brush so that it can be seamless. Seamless. Okay? Seamless. I said this part a million times, so I'm going to say it again because it can't hurt to say it again. It is so extremely important to set anything liquid with a powder. So I'm going to set my face, and I'm going to use two different powders to do so. I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty for under my eyes so I can have a nice popping highlight, and I'm going to take Translucent Medium Deep by Laura Mercier to put and kind of set my entire face. So to do this, you may or may not use a sponge, you may or may not use a brush, you may or may not use a powder puff. Whatever you use, sis, do you, sis, okay? Like, it's your world. I'm just living in it. So for under my eyes, I'm gonna take this little small, kind of like mini powder puff. And I'm gonna do one more blendation underneath my eye. I'm gonna pat into the powder, tap it onto my hands, any excess like that. Look up and press it in. Okay, I'm not gonna dip back into it. I'm gonna dip back to what's on the back of my hand. Okay, so I've set under my eyes. Now I'm going to set my other areas. So I'm going to set my face, my smile lines. And for my smile lines, I let this sit for a second because I don't want to be out here looking like that. And then I'm just going to tap over my entire face. So moving on to bronzer, boo-boo. I'm going to be taking Toasted Bronzer. Toasted Bronzer by Benefit. And popping that on. And I learned the thing about powders is that you want to pat them on. So you want to pat them on. Pat, 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 pat. And then go out later to brush them. Or to buff it in. Not brush it, but buff it in. So I'm going to pat. And since this is a bronzer, I just want to use it to warm up my skin, so I don't want it to be too precise. But I do want it to have like that blown out look. So it's like, she didn't try, but she really did try. But you can't tell. It looks so freaking good, you know? So now that we have that, I'm going to move into blush. And because I like my blush to be a little bit more precise, I'm gonna dip in with a brush, and I'm still patting this on. And I take my blush up because I don't want it to just be one place, you know what I'm saying? I want it to look like you made me blush. Like all of this, you know. For the face, we want to put on some highlight. So for highlight, we have our face complete. Last but not least, you want to take some setting spray and just spray your face. And that is how I do my entire base of this face. So thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'm going to see y'all in my next one, but before I get out of here, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. Leave some comments, let me know how you like to do your base or what steps you like to do first, and I will be seeing you in my next one.